Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently holding for further traffic clearance.
Check out Kristen's new website, magicaljourneysvacations.com, for all your vacation needs. Disney, Universal, cruise lines, and more.
Thank you for traveling with us.
magicaljourneysvacations.com. Have her book your magical vacation today.
WDW After Dark. Now loading.
WDW After Dark. WDW After Dark. Live and uncensored. Starring Jeff Davis, Al Jonko, Kristen Hetzel, and Eric Allen. WDW After Dark is live and uncensored. Call the hotline at 410-98-WDW-AD. Follow us on Facebook at WDW After Dark Webcast and Twitter at WDW After Dark. Headline news: Disney food, video games, Marvel and Star Wars. WDW After Dark. Live and uncensored. And now prepare yourself for WDW After Dark.
Time for WDW After Dark, your talk show for Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars fans. Greetings, I'm one of the talking heads, your co-host, Mr. Al John Go, lifelong Disney fan, love Marvel, love Star Wars, of course. I am here with my Force for Change Stormtrooper shirt, and I'm also joined by our fellow talking heads and also Disney fans, Miss Kristen Hetzel with Dining at Disney. Hello.
Hello.
And Mr. Eric Allen from Mighty Marvel Geeks and the Swordcom Review on Sorcerer Radio. Hello.
Howdy, how you doing?
Oh, we are good. We could be better. I believe all of us at some point this week we're dealing with some allergy issues.
No.
Because pollen is at an all-time high.
Mine was definitely not allergy issues unless you want to count allergic to eating something that should not have been eaten.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm channeling my inner Bill Clinton, because if my voice sounds like I've gargled with battery acid, well, it's not too far from the literal truth. We'll just leave it at that.
Oh, man.
That is not fun.
No. But I tell you what is fun?
What's that?
My Tomorrowland Movers.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I love it.
This was if you remember when Disney did the March Magic to tie in with the March Madness, they had all their teams released, and they actually released T-shirts with them, which was, I thought, a wonderful thing.
I love that. Those graphics are really great. You know, something that the Disney Design Group, enjoys doing every single year, and we love those March Magic T-shirts. I love those designs. I wish we had them in pins or something. That would be also very cool as well.
That'd be, oh Lord, that would be an awesome
pins
addition,
or like even baseball caps would be great. I mean, baseball caps would be awesome.
Ooh.
So there you go.
Get one of those Future World Phoenician ball caps.
I like it. Yeah. I like it completely. That's a free one there.
I got that shirt as well. I got that shirt as well, and I told my son, I said, that one's mine. I got you yours.
Which one did the clone get?
I got him Space Mountain. I got this. They had like the buy two for X amount deal. So I got
that's a good deal.
One for him. I got two for me. So I needed to make one to make out the thing. So this one was the one that made out the foursome, and I figured we can just interchange it. Do you really even need to ask who wound up with the Phoenician shirt?
Not the Phoenician shirt. I mean, you did get a bunch of them, if I remember correctly.
No.
All right. Well, I figured as much. So before we get into all of this great stuff, we got a lot of Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel news. Of course, a lot of stuff with travel and the Disney parks as well. Let me remind everybody that you can like and subscribe to our show on YouTube, iTunes, can listen to us and stream us from Stitcher and tune in. And we would love nothing more for you to spread the word about our program. We go live on blab.im every single week at WDW After Dark. Just follow us on Twitter, and you'll get the notifications every time we go live Tuesday nights around 8 p.m.-ish. That would be Eastern time, or 8 p.m. I'm sorry, 8 p.m. That would be Central time. So be sure you check that out, and like and subscribe to our shows and promote us on social media. Another thing we'll also ask of you is we do this show for you for free every single week, and we would appreciate it if you shop using our Amazon links to help keep this show free for you every single week. Just go to wdwafterdark.com. You'll see all the archive of our shows on YouTube and on iTunes. You'll also be able to click our Amazon banner before you go to shop. Now, it's very simple. Typically, you just go to Amazon and type it in your browser and just go. I'm asking you for this one thing. In fact, make it easy. Bookmark WDW After Dark, and before you go shopping, click on our banner. It's like throwing a little quarter or two here into our tip jar, and we do appreciate it. The other thing you could do is also book your upcoming vacation with Kristen at magicaljourneysvacations.com. And that Kristen is the one that's here on this panel, and she will guide you through. And actually, she'll do all the work for you, the footwork, like waiting on hold for 4 hours, listening to It's a Small World over and over again.
Just remember that you don't have to listen to It's a Small World over and over again.
Yes. And she will do you a solid and also save you money and try to get you all the stuff that the other, when you book straight with Disney or Universal or any cruise line for that matter, she's going to find you all the different deals that you can get where the others will not. So magicaljourneysvacations.com. Last but not least, you can also shop using our links. We also have links in our show notes too, to the Disney store. So you can use that link as well. And Fandango. Now, Kristen loves saying Fandango like the WWE wrestler, but Fandango, yes, you absolutely will be able to buy tickets, whether you are like Jeff Davis, who used the Fandango link, I know he did tonight, to go see Civil War. That's why he's not on the show, because, damn it, Jeff, you just had to go see Civil War tonight. But you can also pick up tickets to Alice in Wonderland through the Looking Glass, which is going to be in theaters real soon. So go ahead and do us a solid. Check out our links there and shop away to your heart's content at wdwafterdark.com. And now, on with the show. Time for Disney headline news. Kristen Hetzel, our resident travel guru and food personality, the host of the Dining at Disney podcast, the co-host of WDW Teak Room, has some upcoming travel deals for you. Of course,
yes, it is.
Free dining is still going on, right, Kristen?
Still going on if it's available for your dates. It is only available on select dates. August 14th through October 1st, November 15th through the 21st, the 26th through the 28th, December 10th through the 21st. You have to book this by July 8th. If you book a value, you get the quick service dining plan for free. If you book a moderate deluxe or deluxe villa, you get the basic plan for free. But you can upgrade either of those as high up to as the Disney Deluxe dining plan. You do have to get a 3-day park ticket at least, and it has to have either your choice of Park Hopper or Water Park Fun and More option. And you can only book this for a maximum of 14 nights. So if you want to go to Disney for a month and have free dining, Disney says, no, you cannot do that. So, of course, there are exclusions and such. Also, in travel news, I have information on Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Tickets are now available, and pricing actually varies quite a bit, anywhere from $72 as high as $105 per adult. And then for children, tickets start at $67 and go all the way up to $100. These tickets do not include sales tax, and the tickets are non-transferable, and you can only get in the park starting at 4. So if you want to go to Magic Kingdom during the day, you need a regular ticket to get in prior to 4 o'clock. You can dress up. However, there are a lot of restrictions, more so than in the past. All those restrictions you can find at DisneyWorld.com. And if spending, nearly $100 is not enough, you can spend even more. They are doing a Happy Hallowishes dessert party on select evenings that includes special holiday themed desserts such as cupcakes, chocolate mousse, ice cream. They'll have cheeses, fruits, and much more. Tickets for that are $60 for an adult, $39 for children ages 3 to 9. So if you go on Halloween and they offer this, it would be $165.
So the moral of this story,
that is an option.
Don't go on Halloween.
Okay.
It's true. It is the most expensive day to go. Tickets are also available for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. And those prices range anywhere from $86 to $99 per adult, $81 to $94 per child. So, and there are discounts for both parties if you are an annual pass holder or Disney Vacation Club member. If you go to examiner.com, I actually have on there the dates that season ticket holder season annual pass holders. Sorry, I'm thinking hockey apparently. Annual pass holders and Disney Vacation Club members get their discounts for. I should probably tell everybody I have slept very little since last Wednesday. So I'm a little loopy.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, thank you very much, Kristen, for that update. Once again, follow her at Dining at Disney on Twitter, and be sure to check out her podcast, Dining at Disney podcast, on iTunes and YouTube, and also co-host of WDW Tea Room. Thank you so much, Mr. Eric Allen.
I do.
You've got some big
first of all,
headlines coming your way in
talk
terms
about
of Marvel
the
and
reason
video
why
games.
Jeff is not here with us tonight. He is out watching Captain America: Civil War, which
I have to say this first. Out of all the nights of the week,
you know what it is.
You have to go on WDW.
You know what it is.
Dark Knight, Jeff. Come on, man.
No,
come on.
He's embarrassed.
Going with Eric
to admit that there are 5 characters he wants to have his picture made with in the parks, and he does not want to participate in this one because he's afraid he'll have to admit he wants to have his picture made with a character. So there it is,
See, I think we gave him so much crap about not going to see Star Wars in a timely manner that, Nicole would install it before he did. So I have a feeling he wants to make sure he sees it before the rest of us do.
Well,
That's
the
true.
Star Wars Force Awakens was practically on Blu-ray by the time Jeff went out and saw it. So, and this is the same guy that doesn't see. Well, he's not here. I'll go ahead and rag on him, because this is the same guy that doesn't like Aristocats.
How do you not like cats?
Come on, chat room. You're a Disney fan. How do you not like Aristocats? For heaven's sake, people. For heaven's sake, you're going to like 101 Dalmatians, Jeff, and you're not going to like Aristocats? Shame, shame. Thank you, Nicole. I have permission from Nicole to rag on Jeff.
Yeah, hopefully.
So there you go. Well, lucky you. Hopefully, Kristen will live to see it this weekend. But anyway,
this movie that we're ragging on Jeff for ditching us to go see has passed $700 million worldwide. It has been in the U.S. theaters for 4 days. 4 days. Now, it earned its opening weekend. It earned just over $181 million. That is more than what Disney / Marvel anticipated it would do. And be honest with you, I thought that was kind of lowballing it a little bit because there were some people out there that said it could break the 200 mark. Yes, I think I agreed with you, as a matter of fact.
I said that.
But yes, apparently yesterday it pulled 13.2 million for the quote unquote first Monday. Oh, excuse me, 13.3 instead of 13.2. That's more than the quote unquote first Monday for Avengers: Age of Ultron. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. It should pass the 762 million worldwide total for Deadpool just before its second weekend, and it should get past the 773 million worldwide total for Guardians of the Galaxy by Friday. So that's going to be interesting.
That's
and we're still seeing a lot of really good critical review for it. So it'll be interesting to see just how high this movie goes. And we've also been told, without being spoilery, that there are 2 credit scenes, like one mid-credits and one at the very end. So keep your butt in the seat when the credits start rolling. You should. This is where
trained
you
after
can
10
sit
years,
in the theater
folks.
and you can laugh at those who get up.
I never understand that. Kristen and I saw the Avengers, and we're sitting down till the very end.
Yeah.
You know, we're even sitting at the very end of Star Wars. Now, we know that there are no post-after scenes for Star Wars, but you never know. It's like, why the hell not sit through the credits, right? We do it in every Marvel movie anyway. And you see these yeses come up and it's like, have you learned nothing? I don't get it.
I don't know. Maybe some people don't know, but to me, the big clue would be all the people around you not moving. You know, like there's nobody picking their drinks up, getting out of their seats, picking up their bags, purses, what have you. Everybody's sitting still. At that point, you go, okay, apparently I need to be sitting here waiting for something.
Waiting for
something. Or you turn and you ask people and you go, is there a reason nobody's getting up?
Well, you know, we had talked about the fact that the movie was going to be around 2 hours and maybe not longer. And I did look at the total runtime, because the strategy that I understand from Disney is that they're going to try to get as many butts in the seats as possible for, you know, their Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars movies. And this clocks in at just under 140, was it 147 minutes? Mm-hmm. So I mean, they're trying to get in as many.
I tell you who doesn't
possible,
like this,
you know,
theater
as many
owners
showings as possible. So,
and the people who work there, because you see them, they are standing down there at the bottom of the rows, just with the garbage bags, with the little broom and the dustpans, all standing there waiting like vultures for you to get up so they can go through and clean it and get it ready for the next batch. But hey, I'm sorry. What I do, I just try not to make a mess. Make their job a little bit easier on them.
Well, this is a good news. The box office returns, because unlike Star Wars, I don't think a whole lot of people, and Nicole even mentioned it, are not going to necessarily watch Captain America in repeated viewings like Star Wars fans do. So I think this is, you know, the fact that they had a very strong opening weekend, and probably over the next few weeks will probably be the number one.
And this is going to be good news,
I suspect,
for Walt Disney Studios, the movies division of the Walt Disney Company, because as a matter of fact, there was a quarterly earnings report that was just released. Walt Disney Company reported sharply mixed results, actually. On one hand, you had overall profit and revenue increasing, although they fell short of Wall Street expectations for the first time in a long time. Now, the movies have done really well. Of course, they had Star Wars Force Awakens come out. It's collected $2.1 billion at the worldwide box office. Billion with a B. As in, booyah, that's a lot of bread. Zootopia is close to 1 billion worldwide. Did you see that one coming? I didn't. So there you go.
A lot of people didn't, but they're going to shoot a sequel. Apparently, they're planning for a sequel.
Their operating income soared. Was increased 27% over this time last year. That's a lot. Okay. Parks has increased as well. I'm looking for that number, and I'm not. Dang it! I'm not seeing it. But here. No, that's not it. So anyway, it did increase, mainly because, for one thing, the cruise line, the prices increased there, so that's increased the profits. You've had attendance increases at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. So, yeah, I mean, which, Kristen, I'm sure you can see that when you see trying to get people signed up for stuff. Yeah. But would you believe that 50% of Disney's profit came from television? Not movies, not parks, but television.
I would not believe that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't that include all of the TV shows that are on other stations?
Disney's biggest division is media networks, which includes ESPN, ABC, and pretty much all the other channels that they own. So I don't know that it would. You would think that it would include that. I don't know for sure though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the production companies that produce shows like
Criminal Minds,
Grey's Anatomy, or Criminal Minds on CBS, for example, is an ABC Studios show. Maybe a different division, because they're involved with production. And
however, I tell you where the biggest loser was, and this is bringing us to the video game news that broke just this afternoon. The division called Disney Consumer Products and Interactive Media, which is where Disney Interactive is coming, recorded an 8% loss from the year before, because they say, quote unquote, softer game sales is one of the major reasons. And base translation, Disney Infinity is not selling as well as it has. It's leveling off, and in a move that honestly should not come as a big surprise, they are canceling Disney Infinity. That is the big story that is coming away from this whole investor meeting. But before I go into that, we do get a little bit of light shed on the departure of Tom Staggs, because we remember we talked about it here on the show when it happened, and we didn't have a lot of information to go on. But apparently, Disney's board opted to expand its search to outside candidates to replace Bob Iger. Now, Iger says that he is going to retire in June of 2018, and he's sticking by it. So I guess it was clear to to Staggs that he's not going to get it, which I'm not sure that was a wise decision on the board. But that's it. And the very first question in this meeting was on that subject, and Iger said, quote, "We're sorry about what came to pass, but we really don't have anything more to say." So, all right. But anyway, back to the Disney Infinity. Yeah, there's a message that was posted on Disney Interactive's website. And I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it verbatim here. "By now, you may have heard the news that we have made the difficult decision to discontinue production of Disney Infinity. From the beginning, Disney Infinity was built for you, our fans, and I wanted to take a moment to thank you, not just for your support over the years, but for creating a community that made Disney Infinity more than just a game. Our goal for Disney Infinity was to bring the best of Disney storytelling to life in homes around the world, and with your support, we accomplished that. We hope you had as much fun playing the game as we had making it. So what's next for Disney Infinity? We have 2 final retail releases coming, including 3 new characters from Alice Through the Looking Glass later this month, and the Finding Dory playset launching in June. And as we turn to the next chapter in our story, I want to thank everyone who helped bring Disney Infinity to life, particularly Disney's Glendale-based production and publishing teams, our external development partners, and of course, the incredible Avalanche team for their tireless dedication to this project. But most of all, I want to again thank you for making Disney Infinity a part of your lives and for adding to the Disney legacy by being part of this community. I tell you what's even sadder. This essentially
sad.
takes Disney completely out of the self-publishing console game business. I mean, they're shuttering Avalanche. I believe that I saw
shuttering
this.
Avalanche? Really?
More than 300 employees are going to lose their job. So
that was the point I was going to come to next, because I have to say that even though I'm a casual gamer to Disney Infinity, I love the figures. I love their community that they have created over the course of the past 3 years. The people that do the YouTube shows, the community managers, the publishers, they are very well liked and respected through the fan community and through the gaming industry. And it's a huge loss, because that is how a game company does things. And the fact that they brought in other developers in order to help them with other mechanics of the game was an unprecedented level of synergy throughout the gaming community, because they used other publishing houses to develop certain segments of the game, whether it was fighting mechanics, graphics, the toys, the other peripherals that came along with the game. It was just an incredible feat of just synergy and how great games are made. And it's a shame that those people may be losing their jobs. So we have a question that says here, are they farming it out? Disney has been farming out video games now since they shut down.
Infinity was the last thing that they were producing themselves. So yeah, I mean, they're going to focus more on licensing and basically getting other people to make games for them, which it's sad, but really Disney Interactive has been struggling. Really, if it had not been for Disney Infinity, I think you would have seen Interactive pretty much become a ghost town 3 years ago. Because, I mean, it's really just been Infinity that's been keeping that division going.
Totally.
And that's sad. It's a great product. I love it. Played the heck out of the first one, played the heck out of the second one. But really, I think that Disney has seen this. People are getting tired of it. it's the first version. You've not seen anything like it before. It was straight Disney. And so what do they do with 2? They bring in Marvel. Well, that's great. It's wonderful. Now for 3, they bring in Star Wars. Okay. That's great. But you've already used up pretty much all the most popular characters. So what are you going to do now? I mean, you can't. Go ahead.
I think part of the problem is that you have a base of hardcore Disney fans that I think they could have catered to in order to help keep every quarter afloat in terms of character offerings, and they could have had exclusive offerings and things of that nature. But they know better than me. Obviously, I'm just I'm blue skying everything here, but it would have been cool. I mean, I still will try to collect the figures, especially now that they're going to be going on sale.
Well, that's how I broke the
game, but I like the figures.
To Mac, the unaltered clone, who's my son, who's now taller than me. He's I said, hey, Disney Infinity is getting canceled, and he's going like, oh no. I said, well, on the positive side, we'll be able to get those that we still lack and want when they go on sale. But truth be told, we haven't played it since Christmas. We really haven't. I mean, he got all the stuff, the Star Wars stuff for Christmas, and I think what it is, it's running out of steam. What are you really, all you can do from here on out is introduce play sets and more figures. Sooner or later, this is true with just about every game. Sooner or later, you're going to reach a point where the game is no longer fun. The game gets old. And I think that when you see the sales figures for Infinity, I think they're realizing that Infinity's at that point. So, yeah,
they were lucky.
It was a
they
good
were
run.
lucky to go as long as they had.
Yeah,
3 years.
And
3
right
years
now,
is a long time for a game to be on the shelf.
The hot game in the toys to reality sub industry is Lego Dimensions, and I think that took a lot of steam away from Infinity. And well, now it's just time. It's time to retire it.
I think that the days of those type of games are probably coming to an end. I think they also probably, and let me know if I'm wrong on this. I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but the Marvel Avengers game where the kids had those peripherals where they were like shooting at the Ultron figures and things like that. That didn't really. That kind of took off like a lead balloon.
Part of the reason
it didn't really sell for them.
And this goes into why Lego Dimensions is probably taking off right now. For one thing, the figures are cheaper. The Disney Infinity are like, $11, $12, $13, depending on where you're at. But you can get 2 figures for the price of one, 2 Lego Dimension figures for the price of 1 Disney Infinity. And so it's the cost. And we said this from the get-go. This could get expensive very quickly, depending on how much you really want to complete the set. And I think people are just. I know I haven't bought any in months because we don't play.
You know who collects every single figure is Sheila, Steve Sanders' wife. She has all of them.
If she doesn't, she will soon. There you go.
Yeah, she'll get them all, I'm
she
sure.
She collects them. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, all right. Well, very cool, Eric. Well, thank you so much for that. It is a sad and very huge headline for Disney Infinity to come to a close. But we do have those last bits of playsets coming up, and I'm sure they're not going to be making a whole lot of them because of the projections due to the financial release that was put out today. So, anyway, thank you so much for that information, Eric. I do appreciate it. Any other tidbits you have before we move on? We're coming halfway to the show, and don't forget our Disney discussion is going to be
top five. Our top 5 characters that we currently do not see in the parks, but would love to.
All right, and that should be an interesting mix for sure. Really quick, I'm gonna have a couple headlines here. Once again, Disney. And Star Wars Lucasfilm have announced Celebration coming back to Orlando. Yes, Orlando, April 13th through 16th of 2017. And you want to make sure you contact Kristen at magicaljourneysvacations.com because she'll be able to make it a combo deal for you. Go ahead and book your Disney vacation or your Universal, vacation, and go ahead and check out Star Wars Celebration in Orlando. Once again, tickets go on sale May 25th. So just a few days away. It's going back to Orlando Convention Center, April 13th through 16th, 2017. It is the largest convention for Star Wars fans in the world. Kristen and I have gone to the one in Orlando for several years going now, and it is a complete blast. You are also going to have a blast when you experience it for yourself. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I think it's going to be an awesome, awesome time. Also, if you just happen to be around Europe, tickets are still available for Star Wars Celebration Europe. It only comes to Europe every few years. So this is your chance to experience what Star Wars Celebration is all about. And of course, this is an unprecedented year for Star Wars, as you know, on the heels of Star Wars Force Awakens and the next release happening this holiday season with Star Wars Rogue One, a Star Wars story. You'll be able to check out celebrities like Mark Hamill. He's going to be there with his Jedi beard and his disheveled hair. He's going to be there talking about his time working in the Star Wars universe. So those tickets are available right now. Once again, Star Wars Celebration Europe at the XL Exhibition Center, July 15th through 17th. And once again, thank you to our friends at Reed Pop for always inviting us out to these shows. And hopefully we'll make it to Star Wars Celebration in Orlando coming up. And I tell you what, I'm just going to go ahead and bypass all of this other rigmarole. We don't need to hear it. Let's just go ahead and go into our Disney discussion.
WDW After Dark presents Disney Discussion, a roundtable panel.
Our top 5 for this week, characters you'd like to see in the Disney parks that are not currently making showings. And these characters, Eric, if I'm not mistaken, this is a great topic because Jeff had brought up the fact last week or a couple weeks ago, the fact that he wanted to maybe get his picture taken with some characters in the park. And I think he asked me, is it kind of weird? I know some of my friends even asked me, is it weird that I go alone, to take pictures with the characters? And I said, no. Yeah. I mean, cast members of all ages go to the park, single trip, solo trip, whatever, and they get their picture taken. Kristen and I would consider ourselves character hunters because we used to go out of our way to get our picture taken with all the characters we can in the parks. Not necessarily get their autograph, but at least get the pictures taken. Eric, I have. You've done that to a little extent, haven't you?
It depends. If there's a certain...
It just makes me think of a story from a long time ago.
I am not a huge character taking picture with person. When we would go, I would let my wife and my son, I would be the one taking the picture behind the photographer. But there were some that, yes, I would say, okay, it's like, oh, well, there's King Louis. I like King Louis. I'll get a picture made with King Louis. So, yeah, that's these characters though in this list are ones that I would. These characters are the ones that I would hunt down, and definitely not. I don't know that I would get autograph, but I would definitely get pictures. I would actually pay for pictures with these.
All right. That sounds awesome. So I tell you what, who wants to go first?
Well,
Kristen, Eric?
before we get into this,
How about
I'd
you?
like to mention the movies from last week.
Yes.
Because you guys
Please.
did the
Underrated
underrated movies, right? So I have my list.
That's right. You were
Okay.
spreading it up.
So
Okay.
that's right. Okay, so my list, I have National Treasure.
Okay.
Sorcerer's
Good one.
Apprentice.
Good one.
Anything
I'm
with,
sensing a theme here
anything
already.
with Nicolas Cage, right? I know, so have I.
Miracle.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Kurt Russell. Mhm. I knew you were going to say that. I mentioned
Because
Miracle.
often if you mention it, people are like, what movie
Yeah.
is that? You know, like it's, yeah. And it's such a great, I mean, it's a true story, but it's a great story, you know. Aristocats. And my number one is Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah. Good.
Just like me.
That is such a good movie, and I've seen it maybe like 4 or 5 times.
we own all those
yeah,
movies.
we
honey.
own a lot of Disney movies.
We own all
We
those
used to
movies,
watch
yes.
all of them right before we would take trips back in the day when we went once a year. It was like, let's get ready. And we would have a schedule of all the Disney movies and which ones we were watching what week. That was my
Okay.
list.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you for that. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and kick off then with our top 5 characters
Okay.
you'd like to see in the
I'm
park.
going to
And
throw
let's
out
go
an
ahead and start with
honorable
Eric.
mention first, just because one of them you already see Baloo in Animal Kingdom, but I would love to see Little John from Robin Hood out at the same meet and greet, just because I think it's hilarious. It's an inside joke because 2 characters that don't speak are there together because they had the same guy doing the voice. Of course. But no, my
Of course.
yeah, exactly.
And it's the same character
But
model,
actually,
too, if I'm
my
not mistaken.
number 5 is Vinny Santorini from Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Okay, I was wondering how long it would take for you to reference this movie. Because clearly, I mean, with a name like Uncle Servo, I knew.
No, because
I knew
to
what
me,
it was
every
about.
time that he was on the screen, it was just hilarious. Because, and this is something that they say in the commentary, whenever they had the voice actors, Don Novello, and if you remember the old early days of Saturday Night Live, you know, back when it was good, this guy was the guy who played Father Guido Sargucci. And he would just, they said anytime that he came in, they just blocked off like 2 hours in the studio because he would come in, his script would be all covered with notes, and he just riff. He just ad lib all the way through, and they'd have like 4 or 5 times the amount of recorded dialogue that they needed. And they just chose the best bits out of it. So he's my number 5.
Awesome. Okay. Kristen?
Ooh. I'm going to go with, let's see. I'm going to go with Squishy. Squishy from Monsters University. I love it. He's so
Oh, I like
cute.
that. Though.
He's so happy. How can you not love Squishy?
I thought for a minute you were talking about the little
I
bitty
agree. I
jellyfish
love
from
it.
Finding Nemo.
Well, that too. Now, but I like Squishy from Monsters Inc.
This
That's
was
an
a very
awesome
hard
pick.
list to come up with and have less than 10.
Yes. Because I've crossed out 2 of this
It is
list
definitely
just
a
while
hard
we've
one.
been talking and rewritten in.
Well, so
That is
so
my official.
is that officially your number
sorry.
5, or is that an honorable mention like Eric? Oh, because you have your honorable mention. You went and did an honorable mention, and then Kristen had her number 5,
Yeah.
right? So, do you have an honorable mention before we move on?
I'll give
One
it.
that you may have
Okay, I'll
scratched
give
off?
it to Flynn Rider, even though he shows up during the parties with Rapunzel. I would love for there to always be a character meet and greet, and I think they need to do it near the bathrooms. Since there's a tower there, it would just make sense. There's plenty of area to do a meet and greet there, but I think it'd be awesome because he's such an animated character. I mean, he has so much personality that it's like Gaston. There's just so much fun that you can have with somebody like that. Whereas the other princes are stiff. So yeah, so that one.
All right, very good. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and add a honorable mention as well. My honorable mention are the Avengers as a group. And I say that because at Disneyland, we do have some, live interaction characters. We have Thor and Captain America and now Spider-Man, which is nice. However, that doesn't encompass all of the Avengers, nor do we have any Avengers whatsoever at Walt Disney World, because a lot of those major characters are still wrapped up in the license with Universal, which coincidentally, I don't think they're going to be given up anytime soon, considering they just reopened the Incredible Hulk ride with a brand new coat of paint and some upgrades over at Universal Orlando, which, by the way, the roller coaster looks pretty awesome. But I hate that. I hate the fact that Disney owns the characters and we cannot use them in the Disney parks. So when we saw the Guardians of the Galaxy over there at DHS a couple years ago, I thought it was really cool. And I think it would be really cool to expand that. So I wish the Avengers were there. It would be really cool to have a Ant-Man and Iron Man walking around to greet people, or even the Incredible Hulk in some form or fashion.
Well, you could,
or at least Bruce Banner, if anything.
You could say Ant-Man's in there. Just point a speck on the pavement somewhere. It's like, there he is.
He's in the microverse.
Yeah.
He's in the floor fibers, folks.
Yeah.
So that is my honorable mention. So now, shall we start off with our official top 5?
I gave my top 5s. My number 5.
Your number 5? Okay, Kristen, you have a number 5?
I gave my number 5, Squishy.
Oh, Squishy. Okay, I thought that was an honorable mention for you. I'm sorry.
No, Squishy's my number 5.
Okay, my number 5. Okay, very good. My number 5. Now that Star Wars is kind of represented now,
they're represented with the 501st too.
The First Order. Any of the Star Wars Clone Wars characters. And I say that kind of loosely because you cannot meet them at this point. There used to be an Ahsoka Tano. There used to be a Mace Windu. There used to be an Anakin Skywalker. There used to be a Kit Fisto wandering around the parks, especially during Star Wars weekends. That I
Shock T.
There's a lot of the old Jedi. And now all you get really are Stormtroopers, Chewbacca, Kylo Ren. And so I'm going to miss those characters. So as a collective, I'm going to say the Star Wars Clone Wars era face characters. That is my number 5. Moving on.
So now we're on to number
4.
Number 4. The Dream Finder.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
You got one of mine.
Yeah.
You got one of mine.
I crossed somebody out to put him in here.
You beat me to it.
Yeah. Dreamfinder. What can you say? I mean, it's just
Dreamfinder with the Figment puppet.
Oh yeah.
That would be the one to do. Those two.
I have toyed with the idea of trying to make that as a Halloween costume. Mm-hmm. And going to not so scary Halloween party. I don't know that I'd make it very far, both in the construction or the park if I actually made it.
Yeah, the Dreamfinder costume's really hard to make by yourself.
Yeah.
It's I've looked at the different Halloween, our HalloweenCostumes.com. We're looking at the different Halloween costumes, and I'm thinking, could this ringmaster outfit, could I trick this out to be a Dreamfinder costume? Because I wanted to get the little plush for Figment and walk around the park.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, but no dice.
Oh,
It's just not good. It's just not good enough.
They have a Figment Poppet.
Yeah,
so that's what got me started thinking about it to begin with, but it's not quite the same. But
how many people love? I love Figment, and we all love Figment here. Who doesn't love Figment? Just get out of the room right now. So
talk to the left because you ain't right.
that is brilliant. That is a brilliant number 4. Kristen.
My number 4, I'm gonna go with Figaro from Pinocchio. I love that cat. It's so cute. So cute.
There's going to be a cat theme, I'm sure, going on. Just
I don't have a cat theme. I have maybe a cute thing going on, but not a cat theme. Because Squishy, not a cat.
No.
That's cool.
But I love Figaro,
So one thing I'm going to say, and I actually had a list of the characters I wanted, but it seems like my web browser decided to shut down. So I'm going to try to remember this, from memory. But I will say the cast of Captain EO. You wrote it down?
I wrote it down.
So
analog, baby.
Oh my God.
So
see, you're cheating. You're doing the cast of all the Star Wars characters, all the Marvel characters. Now we're in all of Captain EO characters. Gosh, I should have just done it.
You know
that
what
way.
this is?
I would like to add all of the Disney villains because they're all on a poster together.
Well, okay, so there are.
It's the standard, typical male fear of commitment.
This is why we should have gone with Finn.
I will get specific.
Okay.
So, the ones in particular, from Captain EO are going to be things like, Hooter, because I think that would be, if you want me to get specific.
No.
What?
Furball.
Well, you have to. Well, you can make a little fur ball. You can make a little fur.
Was
ball.
it furball or fuzzball?
Fuzzball.
Fuzzball.
So you can make a little fuzzball.
I should know. I have him,
but
somewhere.
But I think even but for for a human being to fit inside it, Kristen, that's the thing. You can actually have both, and that would be great. And I had thought about actually having a Captain EO in there, but it's to capture the essence of the Michael Jackson, Captain EO. That would be very difficult. But I think that there is a possibility of having that. Now, of course, the movie's down and the movie's gone. But from my understanding, they've never, ever had any stand-up characters, walk-around characters based on Captain EO. Now, anybody in the chat room can let me know if I'm wrong. And Eric, you're a historical document of all things in the Disney park. So I'm asking you because I tried looking it up to see if they actually had Captain EO characters represented in a meet and greet, and I don't think they ever had.
As a meet and greet, I don't remember one ever being, but I want to say I remember seeing them as part of a parade.
Okay.
Or some kind of live action show.
Okay.
So I do remember seeing, and Major Domo was not a was not a person in a costume. I think he was more like just an animatronic prop.
Okay.
So that may be why.
That might make sense. I mean, they may have had like an opening ceremonies where they may have had some type of animatronic, and unfortunately I can't remember. There were so many of those Vault Disney videos on YouTube that I tried going through, but Major Domo would definitely be one for sure. That would be great. I know Hooter would be another one, because who doesn't love a little alien elephant wandering around with a little fuzzball? I mean, that would be pretty cool. Okay, so that would be my number 4. All right. Are we up to number 3, Eric?
Yes.
We are at number 3.
Okay. For those of you keeping score at home.
My number 3 is the terror that flaps in the night.
Oh, yeah.
Darkwing Duck.
That was another one. That's good. Eric, great minds think alike. Darkwing Duck. That's great. That's you can't get any better than some of those Disney afternoon characters for sure.
No. It was a toss up between him and Launchpad McQuack.
Well, there was a time when Launchpad, and I think you know this, much like Max.
Yeah.
You know, Max when the Goofy movie came out. I had a couple of those characters. Kristen, if I'm not mistaken, did I not have my picture taken with Max like on our honeymoon, like in 2003? I think we did.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I seem to remember getting my picture, but I never had a picture taken with Launchpad. And to my knowledge, I don't think there's ever been a Darkwing Duck in the parks. Can you recall?
I want to say I think I've seen pictures of people with him.
Okay.
But I haven't had my picture made with him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just fundamental wrongness about that.
I agree. I agree. Kristen, how about you?
You guys are making this harder for me because now I'm starting to get ideas of things that I didn't think of, like the gummy bears. Like it would be so cool to have my picture with all the gummy bears.
If that's the case,
are you going to pull an Aljon and say all the gummy bears?
No.
Didn't I get you a gummy bears? Didn't I get you a gummy bears t-shirt?
Yes, I have the gummy bears.
Good.
T-shirt.
I knew I did good.
I'm going to go with a character that was only in the park for a brief moment when the movie came out, and that is Remy from Ratatouille.
Yes.
I expected that.
Me too.
You know, because I'm sorry, I don't count the little hand puppet version on a plate to be a character in a park.
All right.
Okay.
Is that
so yes.
Okay. All right. Now my number 3, is this right? My number 3?
Yes.
My number 3 is Wall-E. So
nice.
A few years back, they did have.
Where'd he go?
We will never know what a few years back they did have. Yanked in midstream.
Yep. All we got is a few years ago.
It's kind of like the beginning of just about every Disney movie. Once upon a time. And we just stop.
Now he's completely gone.
Oh, snap. Okay. Let's see if we can get Aljon back while we're waiting. So it's... I think I know what he was going to say.
Like I said, my browser
I'll
died,
let him say it.
I don't know where were you?
Back.
Did you hear my...
Yeah.
my
okay.
You got as far as
so Wall-E.
a few years ago.
So Wall-E is
and then you
lost.
lost.
3. And a few years ago, as part of Disney's Living Character Initiative, we had that. A part of that was the animatronic Remy, right? That went around in Chefs de France. And we also had the Muppet Labs, which may or may not be part of my countdown moving forward. But once again, you had Wall-E. Now, the problem with this animatronic was the fact that it was so heavy that it actually ripped up some of the walkways. It was very hard on the concrete because those were actual treads. And of course, there was also the thought that if this character ran over someone's foot inadvertently, that it would hurt tremendously. So they only trot out Wall-E on occasion at D23. And it's such a really cool animatronic. It's, remote controlled, very much like the R2-D2. and it looks just like it did in the film. I mean, it is just perfect. So how cool would it be to get your picture taken with Wally? And Kristen and I actually got our picture taken with a Wally, and I believe that this Wally was actually created by someone in the Star Wars community as part of their droids, the Disney droids. But nonetheless, Wally was a cool character to have in the park, albeit for a small time. And hopefully at some point they can bring him back. So, all right, Eric.
Cool. My number 2 is kind of along the lines of your number 3, but instead of Wally,
All right,
I'm going with
we love the
Vincent
Black Hole.
from the Black Hole. We love the Black Hole, and you at this point in time, you can almost get just about anybody who can do a good British accent to be the voice, because Roddy McDowall's voice
so much
kind of matched that character very well. It's almost like where they did. It was clearly they're playing off of.
I cannot hear
Anthony
Roddy
Daniels'
McDowall's
C-3PO,
voice and not
but
think
still.
of his character in Planet of the Apes, Dr. Cornelius. I just cannot think of that. I always think of that. So
Yes.
God bless Roddy McDowall. But no, that's great. And when you say Vincent, I also think, okay, let's get Maximilian and Bob in there, and then we'll be all one happy family. Yep,
Oh, Maximilian, you could
Just
do,
looked
you
like
could
a,
totally do because he
floating
never
Cylon.
spoke.
That's what he looked like. A lot of sci-fi references.
That's pretty much, yeah.
If only there was a WDW After Dark drinking game. Kristen.
I am going to have to go with Hades.
Ooh,
Wow.
I have never seen him anywhere
Woods.
for a meet and greet.
That would be amazing. One of my favorite villains.
The only time that I have seen a Hades character anywhere was on board the Disney Cruise Line, where they did Hercules the musical.
Mm-hmm. Didn't they have him the last time we went to the Halloween party? Wasn't he on a float?
I could be wrong.
No.
And
Okay.
Jules
Yeah,
may
so
want
then
to
the
look
Disney
that up,
Cruise
'cause
Line's the only time I've
my
seen him.
browser's dead, so I'm lucky to actually still have the webcam operating. Shockwave Flash has stopped working. No. So my number 2 is on the same lines as you, Kristen, because I was going to say Hercules and Meg. Now they okay, so
I've seen
Jules
Meg.
says that he was in the show during the Halloween. Okay, so maybe that's where we saw him. Yeah.
Okay, so we did see him because I
I
thought
don't know
the
if
last
he
time
is
he
making
was
himself
we
available
saw
for the
he
meet
had
and
been
greets. That
added
would
to
be a
it.
really cool character though to hunt and get your picture taken. He was not available for meet and greet.
He was not available for meet and greet because
Yeah,
that's what I was like,
so-
man.
So yes,
Wanted
mine
for
was
meet and
Hercules and Meg. I do believe would have also been part of my top 10 had we done a top 10 of underrated Disney films. I do like Hercules a lot. I like the voice acting, but the hero and Meg, Hercules, they were in the parks at one point when the film reached its height, and then they were also brought back. At least Meg was brought back. I did not see Hercules during the Forgotten Friends Disney promotion they had several years ago, where they had the characters, all kinds of older characters come back. Like, who else did they have come back? They had them. They had a bunch of the old Silly Symphony characters come back. And I'm trying to think of who else. They did bring back, I think they actually may have even brought back Hades maybe for that. And I know Tarzan and Jane, it came back for a little bit. So it would be nice to see those two back in the parks at some point. But especially if they ever open up that Greek pavilion, that would be nice. If they ever open up the Greek pavilion, they should just
That would
bring, food and wine, just Greece.
Greece, sponsored by Germany.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I love that. Bring them out for food.
Yeah,
and
why
wine.
not? Why not? Why not?
Greek
That
wine
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well.
You're gonna do that. Bring out Socrates too.
So great.
Yeah. Oh wait, never mind.
No, not quite.
Wine didn't work out well for him.
Our number one in our top 5
No, not
of the
quite.
characters you'd like to see in the Disney parks, but are not. Eric?
3 words for you: Ludwig
Nice.
von Drake.
Kristen wants more Germans in the park anyway. So there you go. Yeah, why not? Why not?
That's
You know,
him.
He could paint all the colors in the rainbow.
I love all the ones that he's done. The Walt Disney, the Wonderful World of Color, the all the old TV shows where Paul Frees, I don't know what he smoked before voicing Ludwig, but it was brilliant.
He's just like Ravenscroft or all those great Disney voice actors. He was definitely one of the greats for sure, and what a great character. Kristen, how about you, Kristen? You're number one.
Mm-hmm.
My number one is going to be Loki.
Very nice.
Okay.
Thor.
Okay.
I just love Loki. It's such a great character that I just thought, I've met, who did I meet? I met Thor over in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a lot of fun. Like, they did a really good job setting up the character experience for that and the whole area where he was. And the guy who played Thor was awesome and looked a lot like him. It was really they did a great job on it. So I had to put Loki on my list because Loki is one of my favorite Marvel characters.
So, and I agree. I definitely agree. Now, we had some really great answers for our top 5, and we could totally go on and do a top 10 if we wanted to. And I will agree, Eric did have some that I was going to list, and I tried to stay away from those because I think those deserve a place on the list, and I wanted to vary things up as we were doing this discussion. I will say this, along with Ludwig von Drake, who, by the way, did appear, and I did happen to be able to look this up during the Forgotten Friends weekend there at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
Here's another character that also is part of the Duck family. And if anyone here knows, I'm a huge fan of the Ducks, including Donald Fauntleroy Duck. He is one of my favorite Disney characters of all time. But I will give a nod to my second favorite Duck, Scrooge McDuck. So Scrooge McDuck is my number one.
Nice.
His character
Nice.
does make very, very rare appearances in the parks. Last seen, if I'm not mistaken, with Ludwig von Drake there at the Forgotten Friends. But how could you not like Scrooge McDuck? His character in the parks is great. He's got the spats on his feet, webbed feet. He's got the glasses, got the hat. He's got this little blue jacket, with his little bag of gold around him. What's not to love about this character? One of my all-time favorite characters next to Donald Duck would be him. Scrooge McDuck is my number one. And there's so many more. I'd be curious to what our chat room says. I got my picture taken with Clarabelle at one point. I think I also had my picture taken with Brer Bear at one point, which is great. Big Al too. Every now and again comes out for the bluegrass band over there at Frontierland. But
sometimes
it's a lot of fun.
A couple of them come
I
out.
suggest that maybe next time you go on your Walt Disney World or Disneyland trip, you seek out these characters. You go out there. You spend the time. Talk to your kids. Talk to your family and say, you know what character shall we hunt today? And hunt for autographs and not hunt their heads, but hunt for their autographs and hunt for photo ops with them.
I almost made
Sorry,
a taxidermy joke about that when Eric said I don't hunt them.
At last home,
But I
the
left that
chat
at
room
one
says,
alone.
Francis, Slim and Heimlich, Ben from Treasure Planet, Hitchhiking Ghost, that was one of my top 10. Huey, Dewey, and Louie which also very rarely come out
I
to
didn't
get
think
pictures
about
taken,
that.
and Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean, and those are all great.
That's a good choice. Yeah.
Heimlich almost made
to get
my
a
list.
Francis.
And then
Francis,
I thought of Squishy.
anything from A Bug's Life these days, because I don't even think that they've pretty much, I think, removed some of the Bug Life meet and greets there at the Animal Kingdom that they used to have. So I don't think
I think
Flick's
Flick is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he was still
I
The
saw him
Hitchhiking Ghost
last
is an
time.
intriguing one because there are times I just would love to get the Hitchhiking Ghost, very much like the three pirates locked up at Pirates of the Caribbean. Those would be a great photo op as well. I've always thought that Disney had an interesting way of putting three characters that have very similar facial features, and I always thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, as an artist yourself, you that would be cool. But the Imagineers for both attractions, I think, had the same kind of idea with the three pirates that were locked in the cell and the three hitchhiking ghosts as kind of a mirror to each other in some way.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's not a that's not
No,
it's
but
not
I've
too
always
big of
thought
a
that,
stretch.
and even though they have they don't necessarily resemble each other, they do have a lot of different interesting artistic characteristics. A Hatbox Ghost would be one. I mean, name anything from Pirates or even Haunted Mansion, they would be great character meet and greets.
I
The
want
Widow Bride.
The Widow.
Constance, yes.
Yes.
Constance.
That is who.
Hatchway.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Hatchway,
I had it on my list. There's actually a
Yeah.
Wikipedia page dedicated to the face characters, or a Disney Wiki page, and they have a lot of those characters there.
I can't believe.
And let's
I
not forget,
forgot that.
there were a lot more characters with alternate costumes that are also cool to seek out. Like, I love Donald Duck so much. I like Frontierland Donald. I liked the Animal Kingdom Donald Duck. I like the Donald Duck that was in Future World. I mean, there were so many different Donald Ducks at the time. So it's like, let's get a variant picture with each of the Donald Ducks, or the Mexican Donald Duck in Mexico for the three Caballeros.
Now,
had there been one with the three
Mexican Donald
Caballeros, like all three, like Jose and Donald and Pepe?
Duck?
That would have been a
seen.
really cool thing to have all three Caballeros.
I would love
Panchito,
to
that's
see
it.
Panchito. I don't remember seeing Panchito. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to decide if I actually remember seeing a Jose or not.
Well, once again, I appreciate everyone's thoughts in the chat room. This has been a really cool show. Do you like our top 5 lists? If so, please let us know. They're on social media at WDW After Dark on Twitter. Once again, you can follow that Twitter account to make sure you know when we go live every single Tuesday. And we'll also have this posted on our YouTube page and in iTunes, so you can download and listen to this nice audio and let us know what you would like to see in our top 5 lists moving forward. Eric, do we have some upcoming lists that we'll be doing over the next few weeks?
Nothing definitive, but there are a few ideas.
Eric, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Okay, you can find me 2 places on Twitter. You can find me at Sorcom Review for most Disney-related shenanigans, or more general snarkiness at Uncle Servo. And that's where the Marvel stuff usually comes out as well. You can also check out the Sorcom Review's Facebook page at facebook.com/Sorcom Review, or find me in the Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone.
That's such a great job
Facebook.
as a Sorcerer Radio DJ, because we're all volunteers for Sorcerer Radio. Sorcom Review Tuesdays 8 a.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Eastern for the Encore edition. Kristen, where can people find you?
At diningatdisney.com, on social media such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Periscope, Dining at Disney. On YouTube, it is The Dining at Disney. On iTunes, you can find the Dining at Disney podcast with myself and Bubba. And I want to remind everybody, because I didn't get a chance to mention this in the discussion, May 15th is when the new section of Disney Springs opens. And there is plenty of new tasty places to eat. And I posted about a lot of those already.
Yeah, Kristen's going to be heading out
so.
and letting us know about all the new food offerings at diningatdisney.com. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'd like to say a personal shout out once again to everyone who downloads our show and watches us on iTunes or participates in our live blab every Tuesday. Thank you so much for letting us into your homes every single week. And we do appreciate it. We do this as a matter of our passion. We like to share our fandom with you. And we appreciate you interacting with us every way we know how, and everywhere you want to mention us, we would appreciate it, whether it's social media or to your friends. Tell all your friends about the show and spread the good word about WDW After Dark. Of course, you can find me also at WDW Teak Room. We just recently posted a celebrity panel with Chris Hemsworth, not Chris Hemsworth, wrong Chris from for heaven's sake, Marvel's Captain America Civil War. Yes, we have that. Chris Evans. Oh my God. The Benadryl's kicking in, folks. We have that. Also, Team Iron Man, Team Captain America, Robert Downey Jr., Team Iron Man was on there along with the rest of the cast for WDW Tiki Room. We have the exclusive press conference where both Team Iron Man and Team Cap come together. Be sure you subscribe to our sister show at WDW Tiki Room on iTunes and listen to us on Sorcerer Radio, Chris and myself, Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. For the encore as well on srsounds.com. And of course, you can follow all my blog geekiness for Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars at JediMusketeer.com. So in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of WDW After Dark. We'll see you next week, fans. Don't forget, it's better after dark. Take care.